So I think a little differently to like the average MMA fan. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just have the basic takes that every other MMA fan has. But I thought I'd talk about some hot takes I've got, and I'm gonna start with one of my takes I'm very confident in, and that take is I think I think Israel Adesanya is never gonna win a fight again. Now maybe saying he never wins a fight again might be an exaggeration, but I don't see him winning another fight. Like I don't see it. I think he's gonna go on a Tyron Woodley type downfall. Why do I think this? Well, I mean clearly seeing that Sean Strickland fight. Sean Strickland is a really good fighter. I mean he clearly beat him fairly easily. But you should never in your life be getting dropped by Sean Strickland in the first round. And it wasn't like consecutive damage. It was literally it was a perfect shot down the pipe. Don't get me wrong, but Sean Strickland doesn't have like one punch power, and the fact he did that to Israel Adesanya, I think it shows that Israel Adesanya's chin might be going a little bit, which makes sense. He's had what 150 fights combined, MMA, kickboxing, boxing. Like the guy's fought a fucking shit ton. He's taken a lot of damage recently. Pereira TKO'd him against the fence. Even in that rematch against Pereira, he still took a lot of damage in that fight. Well, not a lot of damage. That's a bit of an exaggeration. I'm not trying to take away Strickland's win or anything, but he took a lot of damage against Sean Strickland as well. He's going to be taking a bunch of time off, and not only that, I generally believe this, and this is like I'm gossiping sort of here. I'm guessing. I'm noticing a lot of trends with Israel Adesanya, and I'm bordering on that he may be an alcoholic, because he drinks a lot. Every time you see Israel Adesanya, he is drinking. On his stories, he's drinking. He's drinking. He did a live stream with Oscar Willis. He's drinking. He's out at a fucking gathering. He's drinking. Like I get it. The man's allowed to have fun. I'm not saying he's not allowed to have fun, but all I keep seeing him doing is drinking. He's gonna fucking drink himself away. His cardio is gonna be so shit when he returns. He's gonna get out pressured by whoever the fuck he fights next. His cardio is gonna be so shot from all the alcoholism. Like I know this sounds like I'm grasping on straws here, but I generally believe this. I believe the man is bordering on an alcoholic. I mean, the guy was drinking driving, but obviously he wasn't fucking completely wasted. But still, it's just something to think about. He's taken a lot of damage, and I think all the guys coming up now at middleweight are all stylistically tough matchups for him. Like I reckon Dricus du Plessis catches him or even subs him, takes him down, mauls him. I feel like if Dricus du Plessis does beat Sean Strickland, I think they'll go and give Israel Adesanya like a shot at the title. Even though he definitely wouldn't deserve a shot, they will do that. Let's just be honest. We know what the UFC's like. They'll give Israel Adesanya a title shot. And I think Dricus du Plessis smokes him so much younger than Israel Adesanya. He's like 6 years younger. Hasn't taken much damage when you think about it. Israel Adesanya has taken so much damage. And I think Dricus is actually such a hard matchup for Israel. Very strong guy. But I think Dricus du Plessis beats him, and then who's next for Israel Adesanya? Is it fucking Hamza Chimaev? Like Hamza Chimaev, I know he didn't have the greatest showing against Kamaru Usman, but like Kamaru Usman is a really good anti-grappler, and Hamza is a former welterweight himself, going against another former welterweight or current welterweight, whatever Kamaru Usman does next. Like Kamaru Usman is 10 times the anti-grappler that Israel Adesanya is. Israel Adesanya is getting taken down by Marvin Vettori, getting taken down by Whitaker. He's getting taken down by strikers in the middleweight division where wrestling isn't really that big. I don't think he'd be able to stop Hamza Chimaev's takedowns. I think Chimaev would literally ragdoll him and beat him up. So that's another tough fight. And, Israel Adesanya fights on confidence. He is one of those guys who, I know he did end up beating Pereira, but that's because he had a close moment where he rocked Pereira in that first fight. So, he still had that belief. He knew he could get it done. He had no success against Sean Strickland. He got embarrassed. He got beat down. Uh, he got outstruck by a guy he was laughing at, a guy he didn't see as like a threat to him. You could say, well, he just wasn't taking him seriously. But how bad is that he lost to the guy he didn't take seriously? Like, that is really going to fuck with his mental state. He's going to have no confidence in himself, especially by the time he fights again. He's going to be like, what? How fucking old is Israel Adesanya? He's like, what, 36 years old or something? I think he's 34. He's 34. He'll be about 35 by the time he comes back. Like, he's getting older. He's fought so much, taken a bunch of damage. I could see Dricus du Plessis knocking him out cold. I know that's crazy. Dricus doesn't fight or very technical, but he's very powerful. He's very fucking, unorthodox. He's strong. He could just ragdoll Izzy. I think if he lost to Dricus, he could just retire. That wouldn't surprise me, but I think he is one of those guys who will just probably keep trying. And I think if he loses to Dricus, then it's Hamza. I think Hamza will really just run through him badly, and that will ruin his confidence like to an even all-time low. And then by the time that happens, who's next? Is it fucking Joe Pyfer? Joe Pyfer is a fucking crazy good grappler, very powerful, has a sort of similar boxing style to Sean Strickland, but he's even fucking bigger than Strickland, more powerful. Maybe I don't know if his cardio is as good, but like that's still a tough fight. I don't, unless they really try and give Israel Adesanya a gimme fight after his next fight or his next loss after this one or whatever. I think he's going to go on a really long losing streak, or he's just going to straight retire. But I don't think we see him win another fight. I could be wrong on this. This is just my hot takes, but I just have them vibes where I see him going on that Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva type run. I know Anderson Silva did technically beat Derek Brunson, but come on, he did not beat Derek Brunson. We all know Anderson Silva got a really lucky robbery there, but like I have that same feeling that Israel Adesanya is going to go on that type of fall off. I could be completely wrong. These are just my hot takes for a reason, but this is something I do see happening. My next take is that Tatsuo Taira, he's not that guy. He's just not that guy, in my opinion. He's good. Tatsuo Taira is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to say he's overrated, but being overrated does not mean he's not good. He's definitely a very good fighter, but in my opinion, he's not the championship caliber fighter people think he is. I think Moreno really does badly box him up. I think Alexander Pantoja beats the absolute shit out of him. I think I thought David Dvorak was going to give him problems. I know David Dvorak's, he lost to Urseg, he lost to Nicolau, he lost to Cape. But how did they beat him? They beat him with striking. They dropped him. What is one thing about David Dvorak? He's a really good anti-wrestler, really good anti-grappler. His takedown defense is actually really solid. Tatsuo Taira was not going to go out there and beat him on the feet, in my opinion. Tatsuo Taira's striking is really shady. He's not very powerful. He's not really the greatest on the feet. He got rocked by Edgar Chairez, got knocked down. Obviously, Chairez does hit very hard, but still, it's a worrying look for Tatsuo Taira, because imagine him against some of these other guys who are much better, have much better takedown defense than Edgar Chairez and better striking. He's going to get fucking obliterated, in my opinion. I think he's good, but obviously the guy's young. He could be a champion, but I just mean at this current point in time, he's not that skill set. His skill set is not championship caliber. Obviously, I know I know I'm saying he's overrated and then saying, well, he could still be champion. I'm just saying, right now, Tatsuo Taira doesn't show me anything that means that he will be a champion. Obviously, he is young, so he could show rapid improvements, but I'm just saying, right now, I think he is on the receiving end of a flatline KO. Like, obviously, I think he is going to beat, I think he's fighting Carlos Hernandez. I think he'll beat Hernandez. Don't get me wrong, this is what I mean. I think the guy can win and beat a bunch of people. It's just, I've seen so many people assuming this guy is like, oh, he's definitely going to be a champion. He's definitely going to be a champion. Which also brings me to my next hot take. And this other hot take is also in the flyweight division. Muhammad Makayev is not that good. He is not that good. I know I'm going at all the flyweights here. I think Tatsuo Taira is better than Muhammad Makayev. And I just spent, 2 minutes talking about how I don't think he's going to be a champion. I think Muhammad Makayev has absolutely no striking at all. Now this is also going to be another hot take, but I think Cody Durden could potentially beat him in a rematch. Because when you look at the success Cody Durden's having, he's a much better, well-rounded fighter than Muhammad Makayev. He got caught with a knee and then got immediately guillotined. I feel like that fight happens, 10 times out of 10. I think Durden wins 6 of them. I generally do. I I just every time you watch Muhammad Makayev fight, it's always the same thing. He's getting beat up. He's almost getting his leg torn apart. He's almost getting subbed. He's getting beat up on the feet, and then he gets a Hail Mary sub last minute. Like almost gets subbed by fucking Malcolm Gordon. Malcolm Gordon should not. If you're a future champion, Malcolm Gordon should not be fucking like 10 seconds away from subbing you. He just fucking shouldn't be, in my opinion. Like he got really lucky that 10 more. If there was 10 more seconds on that timer, Malcolm Gordon is fucking taking Muhammad Makayev's O. Like people think just because he has all that amateur experience that he's like a championship level fighter. I think he might have overdone the amateur career. I think we're seeing that he's probably fought way too much. I don't think the guy's a future champion. All right, like look at the stylistic matchups. He might be fighting Kai Kara France next. Kai Kara France is a nightmare matchup stylistically for Muhammad Makayev. If he goes out there, gets knocked the fuck out by a Kai Kara France, what the fuck is next for him? What's he going to do? He doesn't even want to stay in the sport for long. He says he wants to get in, get the belt, and then get out of the sport. What's going to happen if his career gets extended because he's just gotten the shit beat out of him? He's been knocked out. He's probably going to retire. You can't even use he's young. He's going to be championship. He's going to be a champion one day, because he's young. You can't even use that logic for Muhammad Makayev because, admittedly, in his own words, he wants to fucking retire by the time he's 25. He's going to be 24 next year. Like, he doesn't have much time left. Like, I don't think he is a championship fighter. Maybe he gets to a title fight, maybe, but I don't even think that is the case. There are so many fights for him that are nightmare stylistic matchups. He doesn't do damage in any of these fights. He's gonna lose a decision fight eventually, where he does all his wrestling and everything, but he's gonna get outstruck while he's on top of the person. He's gonna lose and he's gonna have a meltdown. I can just see it happening. He was down 2 rounds to Tim Elliott. He was down. He arguably could have lost to Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson did more damage in that fight, stuffed all the takedowns. And we've seen with Rafael Esteban, he got Charles Johnson down way, way easier than Muhammad Makayev did, and so did Cody Durden. I think Muhammad Makayev's skill set is overrated. I think he's a good fighter, but he's not going to be UFC champion. I'm very confident in saying Muhammad Makayev will not be UFC champion. I reckon if there is a champion between him and Tatsuro Taira, I think Tatsuro Taira is a better shot, just because his striking's not good, but it's a bit better than Muhammad Makayev's. I don't see championship level fighter in Muhammad Makayev. I know he's winning these fights, but his fucking knee got torn apart in one of his fights. Like that was he got a massive injury there. Like, he's almost always getting subbed. He's going to get choked out cold, or he's going to get his fucking limbs torn apart in one of these fights. I just sense it happening. I really do just think it's going to happen. So moving on to the opposite side of the spectrum for the divisions, I think Tom Aspinall is going to fucking break Stipe Miocic's championship defense's record. Okay, I know this is crazy. You said, he's not even the champ. John Jones is the champ. John Jones is going to beat Stipe Miocic or lose. I don't know. At the end of the day, whoever wins Stipe Miocic versus John Jones, they're going to fucking retire. Like, let's be honest, that's what's going to happen. Tom Aspinall is going to be... he's going to be upgraded to undisputed champion. That's going to happen. There's no denying it. Tom Aspinall is the champion in waiting. He is going to be undisputed champion before long. And when he becomes undisputed champion, who the fuck beats this guy? I reckon brutally KOs Jailton Almeida. I reckon he brutally KOs the welterweight Jailton Almeida, or middleweight more like it. You know, this guy has gotten lucky that he's just been fighting fatties in the division. Jailton Almeida has been KO'd brutally before as a middleweight by a welterweight. He fought an undersized middleweight, got brutally KO'd in that fight. You know, he's gotten really lucky. He's an athleticism bully. You know, he's not very technical. He's just very athletic. But I think Tom Aspinall is a different type of heavyweight that he's not used to. I could honestly just see Tom Aspinall KOing Jailton Almeida with a sprawl. I know that sounds crazy. What do you mean? I could just see him sprawling so hard that Jailton Almeida just goes chin first in the canvas and knocks himself out. But I'm not going to say that's how the fight goes. But I think he would just KO and beat up Jailton Almeida. I think he would wrestle fuck Cyril Gane very easily. I think he would take him down, snatch up his neck, and sub him really easily. I think it would look like the Andrei Arlovski fight, how the second round opened up. I think it would look exactly like that. Takes him down, gets in the hooks, and subs him. That's how I would have Tom Aspinall beating him. I think he beats Curtis Blades in a rematch. Everyone says, well, Curtis Blades was definitely about to knock him out. We've seen this guy take a big 1-2-3 from fucking Sergey Pavlovich and not get knocked out. And also a thing that people overrate about that Curtis Blades fight, those shots that were like, oh, they were about to knock him out, they didn't land. You can go watch it in slow-mo. Tom Aspinall moves his head out of the way just the split second and misses. They miss. You know, only I think one of them shots landed on Tom Aspinall. Underrated head movement. I think he beats Curtis Blades. You know, I think he would beat Sergey Pavlovich in a rematch, beats Volkov in a rematch. You know, definitely beats Tai Tuivasa, knocks him the fuck out or chokes him the fuck out. Like, I just don't see anyone who can really give Tom Aspinall any problems right now. Like, I just think he beats them all. Like, I generally do. I think he beats everybody. There's nobody on the come up who I even see giving him any problems. I think he's just going to be a really long reigning champion. Obviously, it's heavyweight. One big mistake on the feet, and then you're knocked out, and your chin's going to deteriorate. You know, it could happen, but I just see Tom Aspinall beating all of these guys. And I think I think he's really good. Now, moving on to another fight. This is on that last one was wasn't negative. But this one's a really hot take. I'm sure I'm going to get some shit for this one. You know, especially since his last two fights, you know, weren't the craziest. But I think Jack Della Maddalena is the kryptonite. Oh, fucking hell, man. This is going to give me so much shit in the comments. I think Jack Della Maddalena is the kryptonite for Shavkat Rakhmonov and Ian Gary. Okay, hear me out, alright? Hear me out. Don't be going on. Don't be commenting straight, oh, you're a fucking dickhead. How can you believe that? He had a competitive fight with Basil Hafez. Basil Hafez, different stylistic matchup completely to Shavkat, and definitely to Ian Gary. Nothing in that fight is similar. He also quite clearly beat Basil Hafez. Beat Kevin Holland much longer than both of these guys. More powerful, in my opinion. You know, Kevin Holland's got some fucking nukes in his hands. Very powerful, very long fighter. And Jack just, you know, beat him with his technique, his defense. I think he can really fight a technical fight, you know, really well. But the thing is, Shavkat Rakhmonov's takedowns are really overrated. Don't get me wrong, Shavkat Rakhmonov, what a fighter this guy is. You know, what a guy. Like, he is great. He's a really good fighter. I'm not shitting on Shavkat Rakhmonov. He is a really solid fighter. But the thing is, you're going to notice in his game, really, really bad tall man defense. You know, we've seen it against Jeff Neal. Tall man defense in spades. He's taken some big shots from Jeff Neal in that fight. Obviously, Jeff Neal's solid takedown defense. And people are going to say, well, Basil Hafez kept taking him down at will. He didn't. Jack Della Maddalena kept making mistakes with the guillotines. He kept going for guillotines. I still to this day don't know why the fuck he did that. I'm just blaming him being dehydrated from the back-to-back weight cuts. But really, really good boxing Jack Della Molina has. Really good takedown defense. He stuffed, I think, like 16, 18 takedowns from Basil Hafez, who I reckon has better takedowns than Shavkat Rakhmonov. Shavkat Rakhmonov is really trip heavy with his takedowns. Jack Della Molina has a judo background, really strong core. I don't think he'd be able to get Jack Della Molina down, so it would be on the feet. Obviously, Shavkat's a very good striker, but I think Jack tees off on his body, tees up on top. I think he could kick out his leg a little bit like he did to Kevin Holland, take out his leg a little bit. And then I think he could knock him out. I know he's got a great chin. He's been knocked down before. Has Shavkat Rakhmonov, he's been knocked down. He's taken some damage in his early career. And let's see how he does against Wonderboy. I think he's going to really run through Wonderboy. I know, Wonderboy's takedown defense is shot. He's not as strong now. He's a lot older. I could see Shavkat just probably taking him down with a trip. But I think Jack Della Molina, younger than Shavkat, obviously Shavkat's not an old man or anything. He's also young. But I'm just saying, he's rapidly improving. Fought very smart against Kevin Holland. Should have been 30-27 in my opinion. I think he beats Shavkat. I'm less confident on the Shavkat pick, but I'm a lot more confident that Jack Della Molina beats the shit out of Ian Garry, alright? Now listen to this one, alright? Who gave Ian Garry his toughest fight in the UFC? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, you picked Darian Weeks. Darian motherfucking Weeks gave him his toughest fight. Why is that? What does Darian Weeks have? Very good boxing, very good defense. Fights with a high guard sometimes. Has very good boxing. Who is a better boxer? More size for the division. Just, 10 times as fucking good. Much more powerful. Jack motherfucking Della Molina. He's very defensively sound. Obviously, Ian Garry's going to have a speed advantage, but we've seen him get hit a lot. He utilizes a lot of tall man defense. Tall man defense, you cannot use that against Jack Della Molina. Randy Brown, tall man defense. Boom, knockdown. Bang, bang, subbed. I think Ian Garry's chin is sus. He's got a very small head. He got knocked down by Song Kanan. He, fucking got dropped to a body shot from Gabe Green. It was really weird the way he reacted to that. The way he reacted to that was like he got fucking shot. It was like somebody shot him with a shotgun the way he blasted back from a body shot. I think Jack Della Molina is a nightmare matchup for Ian Garry. What's Ian Garry going to do? He's going to try and do a point fight game with Jack Della Molina. Defensively, Jack Della Molina is better defensively, better utilizes a high guard, has really good head movement, and I think Jack would just utilize the long torso of Ian Garry and just tee off on his body. And I think if he catches him, he could KO him. Like I say, he's been rocked a few times, got dropped by Song Kanan. Jack Della Molina, he has fucking stones in his hand. He has bricks for hands. It's actually crazy. Everybody I've talked to who's hit pads with this guy, held pads for this guy, they talk about how this guy's power is just something different. And I think he could KO Ian Garry, especially if he presses him against the fence. He's going to KO him. He's going to KO him. I think he did utilize leg kicks against Ian Garry. Obviously, Ian Garry's a good kicker, but he's a tall guy. I just see Jack Della Molina walking him down and fucking brutally KOing Ian Garry. So yeah, that's just a hot take I have there for Jack Della Molina. I'm sure people are going to disagree with it, but these are hot takes for a reason. These aren't the popular opinions. I don't always have the popular opinions, but the popular opinion is not always the consensus correct opinion, Just because something's popular doesn't mean it's going to be true. I'm sure a lot of people would have got hate comments for saying Sean Strickland was going to fucking run for Israel Adesanya. I mean, I probably would have been one of the people leaving the comments, but anything can happen in this crazy, crazy sport. People just don't realize boxing is actually a really key martial art. Now, my next hot take, Muay Thai is overrated as an MMA base. Okay, I've said it. There's no real good besides Rafael Fiziev, Muay Thai really doesn't work in MMA. Why is that? Why does it not work? And I'm sure I fucking forgot someone. I'm going to look like an idiot now. But just off the top of my head, they said Anderson Silva was a Muay Thai fighter. He does not fight like a Muay Thai fighter. He is a boxer. He was like a kickboxer, but utilized a lot of boxing skills. Yeah, all he had was a Thai plum. That was it. Then they called him a Muay Thai fighter. Like, that was a modified MMA type of Muay Thai, in my opinion. When I say Muay Thai, I don't mean just utilizing a Muay Thai arsenal. I mean just like Muay Thai fighters transitioning to MMA. Besides Rafael Fiziev, it's just not a good base. Your stance is so wide that like the stance is so easy to take people down. The way you throw kicks and everything, it really just leaves your leg out there. You get taken down easy. Like a traditional Muay Thai base is not good for MMA, man. Like, it's just not, in my opinion. It's an opinion I've had for a while. It makes you so open to takedowns. I feel like boxer wrestler any day over Muay Thai fighter. Like MMA boxing is such an underrated base for MMA. I don't know. A lot of people say, well, if you're a Muay Thai fighter in MMA, you got more out of an arsenal. But when does that ever fucking work? When does it ever work? It just means that, oh, I'm going to throw these kicks. Oh, I'm down to the ground. Oh, I'm fucked. Like, I don't know. Maybe it'll change. Maybe there will be an improvement. More people are transitioning to MMA, especially in Thailand. So maybe the Thais will figure out a way to transition good takedowns and sprawling techniques with Muay Thai. But I just think overall kickboxing, just like traditional kickboxing and traditional MMA boxing, are just way superior than Muay Thai. More just because you can do more doesn't always mean better in MMA. Sometimes having a small skill set where you're just you oh my god, I'm like really stumbling my words here. Where you can really just utilize one tool is way better, than being able to not utilize every tool that you have, but having more tools. I'd rather be able to really utilize a jab and defense like Sean Strickland than being able to throw all these different kicks and throwing all these different you know like elbows and stuff like that. Like, more isn't always better, in my opinion. This is I'm not super passionate on this take. I've just noticed none of these Muay Thai transitions ever really work out in MMA. Besides Rafael Fiziev, obviously he had a Muay Thai background. He's a very good fighter. He's one of the only Muay Thai fighters that have really solid takedown defense. It's just because he's like a ball of muscle. He's really built. He's really good for it. So yeah, that's why I have Muay Thai is like not. I just think it's an overrated base because I just see a lot of people say, "Oh, he's got a Muay Thai background. He'd definitely smoke him in MMA." He's like, okay, let's watch him go and get fucking boxed up by Sean Strickland, shall we? Like, I don't know. I just think it's an overrated base for mixed martial arts. Okay, now this is a hot take I'm gonna have that could really age badly come January, depending on how his fight goes. But I think Alexander Rakic is the future UFC light heavyweight champion, and not only do I think that, I think he's the one who can actually hold that belt for like more than two title defenses. Okay, I love Alex Pereira, don't get me wrong, but I think if he beats Jamal Hill, it's Magomed Ankalaev, and I think Magomed Ankalaev unfortunately probably beats him. Maybe Magomed will show some really stupid, really stupid fight IQ, but I don't know, man. I think Magomed takes down Alex Pereira, beats him, but I think Rakic is a stylistically nightmare matchup for Magomed Ankalaev. Okay, and I know I'm basing this on a lot of things, but I think Alexander Rakic beats Jamal Hill. I think he would beat Jamal Hill. I think Alexander Rakic would be able to take down Alex Pereira really easily. He's a really underrated wrestler. Maybe he's not going to be the same post injury, and this is going to age horribly. But I think he beats Yuri Prohaska. He's a really good kickboxer, man. He is really good. I know his fights can be boring at times, but he's just so fucking good. Like, he's generally really good. I think Rakic beats Yuri Prohaska. I think he would chew up Jamal Hill's leg so badly they could just take him down and then just win the fight that way. I think he would I think he beat Jan Blachowicz. You know, he was winning that fight before he got a fluke injury against Jan. I think he would beat. I think, like I mentioned before, Magomed Ankalaev. That is a nightmare matchup for Magomed Ankalaev. Alexander Rakic, really good takedown defense, really strong base, massive fucking light heavyweight, powerful leg kicks. He would destroy the leg of Magomed Ankalaev. I could see him taking down Magomed Ankalaev. I could see him KOing Magomed Ankalaev. I think Rakic is the future long-term champion of light heavyweight. I do believe this. I know he's been knocked down before, and his chin's not like the greatest, but it's not horrible either. I do think Alexander Rakic is the future champ, and I do think he will go on to like have a long reign at the top. Now, like I say, this could age really bad, and maybe fucking Carlos Ulberg just goes in there and sleeps him. But this guy is really good, man. You got to admit, like Alexander Rakic's game is so solid, like everywhere, and to have that at light heavyweight, where everyone's sort of pretty fucking one-dimensional. I think he just has the skill set. I know you could say Magomed Ankalaev's got that too, but Magomed Ankalaev got dropped by the ghost of Thiago Santos. He's taken a lot of damage. Was getting his leg completely destroyed by Jan Blachowicz. I don't know. And also, not to mention, Alexander Rakic brutally KOs Johnny Walker. I just remembered about Johnny Walker. Alexander Rakic, he definitely knocks him out, in my opinion. Obviously, Walker is an athletic freak, but I think Rakic beats him. And yeah, that's one of my hottest takes. This is one I firmly believe that Alexander Rakic will be the UFC light heavyweight champion. I feel like everybody gets a turn with the light heavyweight belt, though. Like, generally, like, fucking hell, everybody's had a shot at it. Everyone's literally held it, but I think Rakic is that good. I think he's that level. And yeah, let me know if you disagree or agree with my picks. These aren't all my hot takes. I thought I'd make this like a little series if this one does well. So make sure you share this video. Share it to MMA Reddit. Share it to MMA Facebook. Share it to fucking, I don't know, MMA Tumblr, if that's even a thing, or MMA 4chan. I don't care. I want people to give me their hot takes in the comments. I want to know which hot takes you agree with, which hot takes you violently disagree with of mine. I don't give a fuck. I want to hear it. I love hearing people's takes on mixed martial arts. I love this sport so much. Like, I genuinely do. I fucking love this. I live, breathe MMA and combat sports in general. But yeah, I just wanted to hear my hot UFC takes. I think I said MMA takes, but these are pretty much just UFC exclusive takes. So yeah, but yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you disagree with these, which one do you think is my hottest take, and which one do you reckon is my coldest take? You know, I want to rank my takes in the comments. Disagree, agree, I don't care. You know, I just want to hear. I want to start a conversation about this. I'm very passionate on this. But yeah, like I said, make sure you like this video because I really do appreciate it. You know, let me know your thoughts on my picks, and yes, if you're not already subscribe, put on the notifications, and please share this video around because yeah, I want to start a conversation. So yeah, thanks. Sorry this video went on too long, so I'll end it now because yeah, I want people to actually watch this whole video, but I'm sure they won't. But hey, a man can dream. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.